And we should officially be live on YouTube. First super chat out here, Matt Stevens. For all of you watching, here we go. Reaper Crew, yes, we're number one, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the beautiful Sunday show for the fragrance community to know maybe they're doing something bad. As a matter of fact, they're doing horrible things. For all of you watching, ladies and gentlemen, this is a whiskey channel. We cook, we do men's stuff, and also for the ladies, we do a lot of great streams on a weekly basis. So for all of you watching, if you don't know me already, you should probably already know my name, Matt Stevens. Thank you so much for the super chat. Reaper Crew, you know what time it is. We're number one, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Whiskey Reaper. And for all of you watching, it's short. You can call me the Reaper. For all of you watching, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. And today, yes. Today, we're going to do something that nobody on YouTube does. And just because that's how we do it. For all of you watching today, we are officially going to say, yes, live. I'm going to do it live, no editing, live. Fragrance YouTubers are clueless. Let's say this right now. Fragrance YouTubers are clueless. The new perfume, the Marley Layton, is 10 out of 10. Now, there's going to be a reason why we're doing this. I want to understand. I want to make sure you guys understand. Good shout outs to my members. Don't forget to hit that like button. Let's start by saying one thing, okay? First thing we're going to say is officially, we're going to say this. We started our YouTube channel to save people money. Not only did we do that, we started our YouTube channel so that everybody sees the prizes, and also not only the prizes, so that all of you get great whiskeys, okay? Great whiskeys. I have some great whiskeys on here, but we're not talking about whiskeys today. I'm going to be having these over here so that I can drink them in case I need them. There's a lot of whiskeys out there that many of you know about, and I showed you this over the span of time for the beginning of the channel. And for all of you watching, also, boom, we're going to talk about this one too. Why is that relevant to? Why is that relevant to this? Why is that bottle very similar to this? I'm going to tell you that now. But for all of you watching, this is literally a live stream I'm aiming at the fragrance community, okay? This is aiming at the fragrance community, literally each and every one of them. I don't really care how big of a channel they could have. They could have 1 million, they could have 100,000, they could have a small channel. They're all the same. We're going to say this again. They're all the same. The reason why I say this is because I already know how the fragrance community works. They try to sell your product. Okay, we all know this. They try to sell your product, and this is why I never tune into any YouTuber that tells me about a fragrance. Now, there's two fragrances I have out here, which is the Layton Exclusif, right? Layton Exclusif. And if you don't know about this company, well, I'd like to show the companies that I like to wear. And for some of you, you're going to learn something from just this bottle itself. Now, this over here, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 200 ml. Yes, Layton, 200 ml Layton. And for all of you watching, you can see the barcode if you want to. There you go. There's a barcode. This one's a 2024 batch. Again, this is the same batch as 2023 and up. And again, this is what we're going to get at. We're going to talk about this, and also I'm going to take this out so you can see what it looks like. But for all of you watching around the world, this is going to be for all the YouTubers out there, and also all the customers, the companies out there that buy bottles just because some YouTuber tells you on TikTok or on YouTube in general. You guys really tune in to YouTubers so that you can save money. But the fragrance community is the only community that I probably know right now that they don't care about you. And that's understandable. I've understood it for years and years. And this is why, I'm going to say this, I've always said Layton is the worst bottle they've ever made. And it's true. Parfum the Marley Layton, the previous batch, was very strong. And what do people want in a fragrance? A very strong performing fragrance. And that shouldn't be the thing. Now the regular Layton, this is the new batch, the regular Layton, I'm going to take this out now. The regular Layton, I'm going to say this ahead of time, it's very strong. I couldn't spray more than 3 sprays on the regular Layton. And I gave away the bottle. I spent a lot of money a long time ago, and I gave away the bottle. Now, this over here is a 10 out of 10, but I'm going to explain to you why this itself is a 10 out of 10. By the way, this is a big boy. It just came out. Came out recently, right? Let's open this up. Beautiful. Here we go. Batch. Now, I'm going to tell you, when it comes to batches, there's a website. I think there's one website mainly. You put the batch of a certain bottle, and it tells you when they literally put it together, when they literally made it. This is a 2024, October 2024. This was literally made. The juice was made October 2024. Now, you can learn about that by going to a batch code side, and you can see this, the batch code over here. I'm not going to show you any harder, but it's a 443. Let me see, 443. We should have it over here. Boom. We should have it over here. There you go, 443 416. Okay, those are the 6 digits for the batch code. Now, I'm going to tell you more about the batch code and why it resembles some of our whiskeys, right? And I want to make sure to tune in for some of you to understand that. I know some of you don't know about this, but I want to make it clear. I want to make it clear. There's YouTubers that don't know diddly. They don't know diddly, okay? They don't know squat. And this is a great example. I bought this because officially I had a feeling, I had a nudge that it was going to be really, really good. It was going to be better than the last bottle that I got. Now, I had postponed buying this a while ago, but I found it finally for 200 ml. This is the biggest bottle that this company has ever made. Biggest bottle they have ever made. But let's get into it, okay? Let's get into it a little bit. I'm going to give you a nice stream. We're going to have another stream later on. Let's get into it for the fragrance community and for all the people that are looking to buy products. All right, let's get into it. First off, let me say, fragrance YouTubers are clueless, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Nobody on YouTube told me to buy this. Nobody on YouTube told me to buy this. As a matter of fact, nobody close to me that I know wears Parfum de Marly. As a matter of fact, nobody online says anything positive about anything with the new batches. Now, I've been telling you before, there's reformulations usually. Last fragrance that I had that got reformulated was YSL. YSL Le Nuit Homme. I think it's called Le Nuit de Homme. Point of the matter is, that's a fragrance that literally got reformulated and they ruined it. But this is the only fragrance that I can say I've always wanted to finally give it a shot when they reformulate it. And the only issue I had with this was that it was too strong. Now, I'm going to say this. This is not the same. This is not the same as this. I'm going to talk about this one very soon. This is a Layton exclusive, the limited, not limited edition Royale. Okay, it's not the same thing, but I'm going to put that there for a second, okay? So, let me talk about this real quick. Reason why this is a 10 out of 10, I'm going to just give you off the bat. 10 out of 10. It's less. Okay, I'm going to say this again. Less migraines. I don't get as many migraines anymore with this one. The perfume itself got perfectly balanced. The Layton before, which was the older batch, Layton, which wasn't reformulated, was very strong, and to me, it was not balanced. YouTubers don't tell you this. Why do YouTubers don't tell you this? Because the previous Layton, the one that wasn't reformulated, the one before 2023, was very strong. Everybody on YouTube and TikTok, every teenager, every adult man, every woman in general wants a fragrance that lasts a long time. And that shouldn't be always the thing. It should never be always the thing, right? It should not be the thing, but it is. Okay, it just is. Okay, people buy fragrances because they last long. And that shouldn't be the thing. Maybe it's because a lot of people stink out here. I don't know what it is. Maybe they got some doo-doo in their cheeks. Maybe they got some doo-doo in their cheeks. That's why they need a 15-hour fragrance. Hey, there's youngsters out there. There's 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds that got doo-doo in their cheeks. Yeah, they got doo-doo in their cheeks, so they have to have the strongest fragrance. Especially kids, right? There's kids out there. Bunch of doo-doo in their cheeks, right? 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-olds, and TikTok, they got a bunch of doo-doo. They're walking around with doo-doo in their cheeks. So guess what? Those doo-doo patties, what they got to do is they got to wear the strongest fragrance, and they don't take showers. But that's not the case with me, right? That's not the case with me. I'm a real YouTuber. I tell you how it is. I want to save you money. And at the end of the day, we show good fragrances, and we also show good whiskeys, right? I'm going to talk about this one soon. Why this is very, very similar. The point of the matter is, this fragrance, I just got it about 2 days ago. I think it was, as a matter of fact, yeah, about 2 days ago. 200 ml, the biggest bottle you can get, the most expensive bottle in the fragrance lineup of Parfum de Marly. This is Layton, right? And again, let me explain to you one reason why this is so good. First off, let me start by saying, this bottle itself, it's an awesome bottle. I wish I could have kept my other one, but you know what? There's no point in keeping my other batch. Other batch was so harsh. It was so strong in the vanilla. The vanilla was overpowering the apple that this is supposed to have. Not only the vanilla was overpowering the apple, it was so in my face that there was also it was like a menthol. There was a menthol hit to it. Okay? There was a menthol hit to it, the previous one. It was so harsh that I couldn't even spray more than 3 sprays. Now remember, I started off buying some of these Parfum de Marlys when they said Layton had the animalic. They said that the Layton, the previous one that I had an animalic kind of a note on there that makes it very strong, almost like a skunky skunk note. And I'm going to say it was very skunky. It was very strong. But the only reason why I don't have it with me on the screen is because I got rid of it. And now we're here in 2025. This is the year 2025. And I'm literally here telling you, okay? I'm here telling you, in a whiskey channel, that you shouldn't believe every YouTube fragrance member in the fragrance community if you're looking for fragrances. Now, let me explain to you why this right here is a 10 out of 10. First off, before I tell you it's a 10 out of 10, let me just start drinking this. That's good. You're probably asking what I'm drinking. While everybody's looking for Japanese whiskey, I'm drinking a 15-year-old Shin malt whiskey, really good. Best bang for buck, about under $100, about $100, under $100. But let me explain to you why this is a 10 out of 10. For any YouTuber that doesn't know, there's YouTubers that have no idea. There's no YouTubers going to buy this. I'm going to say this ahead of time. No YouTuber's going to buy this. It's too much money for them. They want free stuff. Oh, here, Joe Waters. Joe Waters, thank you so much for the super chat. If you guys are rewatching this, remember we get super chats in the chat room, and that officially makes it. Okay, that makes it a live stream. Over here, Joe Waters says, shout out to Angel for getting random movie references. He now smells good thanks to your gift and has earned cool points. Yes. If you guys watch these streams, I am big on fragrances. I have given away a good amount of fragrances to a lot of people. A lot of our members, be part of this chat room, be part of this community, and always be here on time, because I'm usually late. But for the meantime, I'm going to say this. Thank you so much for the super chat on here. Don't forget, we're going to be cooking later. But for all of you, let me keep on going with this. So Layton, 10 out of 10. Why is it a 10 out of 10? First off, no fragrance YouTuber is going to buy this. And no fragrance YouTuber on YouTube is going to tell you about this. There's other companies out there probably going to be the same. So take note to that. There's going to be other companies out there that are going to be the same. They're going to reformulate their fragrance, and most likely it will smell a lot better, right? But I took the plunge with this one because I just like the company so much. I wasn't giving this for free. If you could tell, this is a big boy, and at the end of the day, when YouTubers get free bottles, they're not big. They get the small ones. They get the small ones. First off, the vanilla, the strong vanilla, and the animalic note isn't on here. It's tuned down. This perfume, the Marley. This perfume, the more Layton, not only has everything tuned down, it's so balanced. There's a menthol kind of a nose on here when you first spray it on, and it is not overwhelming. I can tell you, in fact, it's so embarrassing to say this, but I'm going to say it. The regular Layton, the one that was previous batch, I could only spray 3 sprays, and even then I would get migraines. It was because there was a strong vanilla note that was overpowering, and it was a menthol kind of a note. And if you don't know what the menthol kind of a note is, think of kind of like Bengay. There's a kind of like a certain kind of like a Bengay, or like a Vicks Vaporub. I don't know if you guys know the Vicks. There's a certain smell, like a menthol kind of a smell to it. The previous one, the previous batch, which was under 2020, so 2020, 2019, and again, this is not striped, this is all blue. 2018, 2018, those batches, all those batches, the previous, before, when they were really strong, I could only spray 3 sprays. So I got rid of it because it was just not, it was not right. There was something wrong with it. And I'm going to say this. The bottle is beautiful, but it doesn't matter how beautiful the bottle is. If the juice inside it just doesn't go. It just doesn't go. That's what it is. And over here, I'm going to just say this. So why is this good? Let me just start saying why this is good. I don't get a migraine, okay? So far, I could spray about 8 sprays of this, and it's strong, very strong, and it tunes into my skin. It turns into a skin scent. When it comes to Layton, that is the only issue that we had previously, and I've been telling a lot of people that I never liked to show Layton, because the Layton that I had previously, it was straight dookie. It was straight dookie. I'm just going to say it, man. It was straight dookie. There's no fragrance YouTubers are going to tell you when they get a free bottle that is bad. They want more of these bottles, right? I paid money for this, cash money for this. And at the end of the day, it does make a big difference when you do pay cash money for something. If you don't put it on credit, it's a different feeling too when you pay cash money. Matter of fact, I think I have money in my pocket. Point of the matter is, let's get back on here, okay? YouTubers will not tell you, okay? Batches make a difference. I'm gonna give you a good example, okay? Elijah Craig. This go by batches. Now, if you guys don't know, whiskeys and fragrances, they both have something called alcohol, right? There's a certain kind of alcohol content in this perfume, the Marley, and there's a certain kind of alcohol in here, right? But again, this is Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and for some of you that don't know in the fragrance community, this goes by batches too. Now, in the whiskey community, each one of the YouTubers, and everybody has their opinion. Everybody has a different opinion. You have to stick to a YouTuber that you like, somebody that's transparent. We're transparent as can be here, right? If I don't like this, I'll tell you. And for all of you, there's 3 batches on the year of these Elijah Craigs. There's 3 batches. Now, the only time that they have a different batch, usually, a different reformulation, is when the company needs to change something. If there's something out there that they can change out, don't say it's me. Just don't say it's me, please. I've reached out to Parfum the Marley before. I've reached out, I can't tell you who it is I reached out to, and I spoke to him about certain fragrances that were kind of messed up, and this was one of them. But obviously, this is not it. This is the new one, right? 2024 batch. But I did tell him about how I couldn't wear the fragrance. And I'm a very persistent man when it comes to fragrances. I like fragrances and I like to wear them. If I can spray about a couple sprays and it's okay for the rest of the day, that's fine. 6 hours is good, 8 hours is good. I don't need to have a beast mode fragrance. And I'm pretty sure that there may be maybe put a couple people's opinions all together and they decide to reformulate this. Now, when the company reformulates something just like this, they save money. Not only they save money, they get more revenue every year after they reformulate it because they're not using more oils than they need to. Now, one thing I do think that they did is they tuned down that menthol kind of a smell on here, and that caused them to be able to save some money, which is actually good. The apple note that I have on here and the bergamot note on here, it's very much in your face. It's nice. It's beautiful. Before, previously, the other Layton, it was masked. It was masked by the vanilla, the menthol, and throughout the hours you could still smell it. This has a good balance of literally everything. You got a little bit of woods, you got a little bit of bergamot, you got that vanilla that goes and balances good on here. Not only that, but you could smell that juicy. There's like a little nice little spray of a little bit of apple on here, which is one of the main things that people notice with Layton. I'm going to say this again. YouTubers are clueless when it comes to the fragrance community. The fragrance community should be ashamed of themselves for actually talking about these bottles still. If you're watching right now, let me just say this. If you're watching any YouTuber talking about Layton, you're watching the wrong video. You're wasting your time. If there is officially no YouTuber that's telling you the batch, and if there's no YouTuber telling you when they bought it, at the end of the day, you might as well not even watch. You're wasting your time at the end of the day because at the end of the day, these bottles do change over time and they get better. Now, I'm going to give you a good example over here because we have the Layton Exclusif. You're probably wondering, my man, don't you get the big boys? You big baller. You big baller. This is the thing. You don't need to be a big baller to know that there's a fragrance out there that officially you just need 3 sprays. Now this one over here, this one was the better version of the regular Layton. And for some of you that do not know, the reason why I have the small bottle is because of that. I only need about 2 to 3 sprays of this on my neck. And this will last me about 10 to 15 hours. It doesn't give me that strong menthol, strong vanilla. And also this one has a beautiful, beautiful creamy vanilla. The reason why I have this and I'm showing you this is because both of them are basically should be the same, right? But they're not the same. The difference is the vanilla on here is creamier, and on this one is just regular vanilla. Not only that, this is a little bit stronger when it comes to that apple note. The apple note is enhanced. Over here, it's not enhanced. The regular Layton's not enhanced. And again, let me just show you. Let me pop this open. There we go. It comes in a nice little thing there. Boom. You can see 82%. You see that 82%. There you go. You see it, 82%. 82%. Supposedly there's 2 different ones. There's 78 and 82%. And this over here, all you need is 3 sprays of this, right? 3 sprays. But again, I'm showing you the difference because officially, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about the regular Layton. You can't really compare, but I'm going to try to compare as much as I can because there's a reason why I stuck to this Exclusif is because it was well-rounded and it was made very well. There was nothing that they needed to change. Nothing that they needed to change. Again, I'm going to say this. Be careful out there watching TikToks and be careful watching YouTube. If you're watching these YouTubers, they will not tell you when they bought it. They also will not tell you that they were given it from a company. And also that does make a difference, right? Again, I'm going to say this. This is the big bottle. You can go look at the price, 200 ml, big bottle, huge bottle. Now I'm going to say this. When you first spray this on, you're really going to get a dose of what that real Layton is supposed to be, but it tunes down. The best part about this is that it's long performance, but it stays skin scent. It turns into a skin scent, which is great. I don't have a huge bubble around me. I don't choke people out. And this is what happens with some of the people out here. All they look for is fragrances that choke people out. That shouldn't be the case. If you're a real gentleman, if you're a real gentleman, if you're a real man, if you are somebody that's enthusiast, if you're somebody that knows about fragrances or even whiskeys, you should know that some of these bottles that you buy, you shouldn't be able to have to spray 20 sprays of a certain fragrance. I think the perfect amount of sprays on this one, currently, I'm going to say this right now, currently the perfect amount of sprays on this Layton, you won't believe me because I've never said this before, but the perfect amount of sprays of this one is about 7 to 8. 7 to 8 sprays. And I'm going to say this again. When you buy a Layton like this is a brand new one, you're going to have to understand it's going to get a little bit concentrated. Now that I'm talking about that, I just want to show some of you something. I do know that some of you don't know that I'm into fragrances. Now, recently I was told by one of our members that I have a super expensive bottle. This is Gucci. This is a Parfum Gucci. This is an old school Gucci. And for some of you that don't know about this Gucci, well, guess what? Back in the days, there was great bottles like this. They were literally not reformulated, right? They didn't have to reformulate everything. Some of their bottles were always good. I was recently told that this bottle is about $500. $500, and it's only halfway. Let's see, it's halfway. There you go. Let me see, it's halfway. Now you're probably wondering, if this is so good, why do I not wear it? Now, as a man, I'm going to say this, as a man, a real man, right? Because some people don't know if they're a man or not. As a real man in the fragrance community, in the whiskey community, I do change my view in certain things. And this bottle is a beautiful bottle, but I got sick and tired of using it. I just got sick and tired of using it. I used it so many times. I didn't have to spray too much. I had to spray maybe three sprays, and that should be all I needed to do. I got really sick of it. Now, no YouTuber's going to tell you this in the fragrance community, right? This is a $500 bottle. They don't even talk about this because they don't have it. The point of the matter is, you will get sick of fragrances. Doesn't mean the fragrance is bad. I just get sick of it. I get sick of the vibes. I get sick of the time that I was wearing this. I just get sick and tired of certain feelings that you get, a kind of memory feelings, nostalgic feelings that get added to a fragrance, right? So this fragrance has memories. And once you spray a fragrance, those memories kind of come back. You kind of smell it, and it triggers something in your brain. YouTubers don't tell you about that, do they? They don't. As a matter of fact, they don't even show you expensive bottles. They show you cheapies. But the point of the matter is, why I'm showing you this is because this is literally one of the fragrances out there, Gucci Parfum, that people in 2025 are looking for. I didn't know that they were looking for this son of a gun. As a matter of fact, thank the Lord I got Dookie in my cheeks. I'm going to say this. If I did have Dookie in my cheeks, maybe that thing would have been gone. Maybe this fragrance would have been absolutely gone. Maybe that fragrance would have been gone. I would have had no more. But you can see it is halfway. It is halfway, and it's a beautiful, looks like whiskey, doesn't it? Looks like whiskey, doesn't it? It does look like whiskey. You know what? We're going to put this over here. It looks like whiskey, doesn't it? Looks like whiskey. We're going to put this over here. There we go. You can put this. We're going to put this over here. So again, let me just say this. These are not bottles to be buying unless you really want something different. This is the vintage old school bottle. But why am I telling you still about Layton? Why is it a 10 out of 10 still? Why is it better than this Gucci? It's better than this Gucci because I can start different memories with this. When I wear this bottle, I'm going to start new memories. This bottle has a lot of memories, but this one is the one that's really going to start all those new memories. And some YouTubers out here, they're clueless. They're clueless. They don't know diddly. They're clueless. Straight dookie clueless, right? They're complete dookie in their cheeks, and it's just straight dookie clueless. And I'm going to say, for any kids out there that have YouTube channels, you shouldn't be watching this. This is an adult show. But for all of the kids over there on TikTok, understand, if there's a kid out there on TikTok giving you a recommendation, you're buying it off the recommendation as a kid. You're an adult, my man. You're an adult. How are you looking at a kid's YouTube or a TikToker that's a kid, about 21, 19, 22? Maybe they're adults, but the point of the matter is there's a lot of kids out there that are 18, 17, 19, 20. I personally think if you're about around 21, you're a kid, you shouldn't be reviewing fragrances. When I was a kid, look, I'm going to say this. When I was a kid, I never had a huge amount of fragrances. There was no point in me having a huge amount of fragrances. There's just no point in me as a kid. When I was a kid, there was no point. Just literally no point. All I needed was a good amount. I didn't need a lot. I don't know why kids are doing this, but they are doing this. So if you're tuning into a kids channel and getting a recommendation on a Layton, well, I'm not trying to mop them up, but I'm trying to say kids shouldn't be wearing Layton. I'm going to say that right now. Kids shouldn't be able to afford a fragrance like this. If a kid can afford a fragrance like this, his family's well off. And at the end of the day, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't get any. Maybe you just shouldn't get any fragrances. I mean, if kids are gaining balls like this, no, I'm just joking. You guys should definitely. It doesn't matter if there's kids buying this, but there are kids really paying the top dollar for this. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is, in general, if you do have money to buy a fragrance, you should know what you like. You should know what you like. And at the end of the day, just like whiskey, you should know what's in your palate, right? Whiskey, you got to know what's in your blood. Drink this up. Same thing goes with fragrances. But one thing I can say, adults, most of the adult YouTubers and TikTokers, they actually don't know that. They don't know that some of these are reformulated. It's pretty sad. So again, let me just repeat this. If anybody's showing you this bottle, it doesn't mean that it's the same bottle that they're spraying on their skin. You have to know the badges. You have to know which year is the release. You have to really know, just like the whiskeys, right? Just like the whiskeys. I could be drinking this whiskey, just for anybody knows, I could be drinking this whiskey, give you notes on this whiskey, but it's not the whiskey that you have. I know one of our members recently did that. She ended up buying a bottle that I was recommending, but it wasn't the same batch. But she doesn't know. It's understandable. These bottles all look the same. She doesn't know. But she ended up finding out and learning that it's not the same batch and it's not the same bottle. Again, I'm going to repeat, they have different batches, and the same thing goes with the fragrances. I do know that I have to do this. I have to do this because honestly, I want to make sure that you guys save money. Not only save money, you don't get deterred from buying a fragrance or just lose interest because there's a fragrance YouTuber out there that's clueless, and you buy a fragrance, and when you wear the fragrance, it's too strong and it's too hot, and it's just too sharp, or it's too maybe it's something you just don't like, right? Don't always believe in the fragrance community. Okay, I'm going to say that. My recommendation for some of you, huge recommendation. This is the biggest recommendation I could give. If there's any bottle out there that you need to try, okay, what you want to do is go to the store. Go to the store, try it out. And make sure, this is another key thing. When you go try it out at the store, whatever bottle you're trying out, okay, make sure it's the same batch. On the bottom, there's a SKU number on the bottom, and there's a certain year sometimes that they give. This one over here, if you see it, this is 82%. 82%, right? You see the 82%? There you go, 82%. I believe that's ABV, the same thing. I think it's a alcohol volume, 82%. The previous one was 78%. The new exclusive over here, this one is also 82%. But again, my recommendation for any of you, if you ever go to the store, this is the best way to buy fragrances. You go to the store. If the woman tries to sell you a bottle and she just grabs a different box, make sure that the box that you're getting, that you're buying, make sure it's the same batch. You see this lot number 443416. That's the batch. You don't use the last numbers on. You don't use the 8 and the 8. There you go. You have to know this. And it also says 2023. You have to know this. Same thing goes with the bottle. If they have a tester out there and you're trying it out on your skin, you really like it, right? Walk around the mall, walk around the store, you really like it. The same one that you just sprayed, make sure it's the same batch. Again, you can see over there, a lot 443. There you go. You see it, right? So again, I wanted to make this stream for all of you to watch. I know that we have fragrance people watching, and we're going to have fragrance people watching this stream. This is for everybody. As a matter of fact, it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be 70 years old, 60, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old. I'm going to say this ahead of time. Make sure you know your batch. If you don't know the batch, just like whiskeys, if you don't know the batch that you're drinking, you're drinking a certain batch, you're not going to know what you're drinking. Maybe this is a 2020 batch. And in the year 2020, they were horrible, right? That's why they're on the shelves. Again, let me repeat again. When it comes to whiskeys, know the batches that this is 2022. But say, for example, 2020 was on the shelf, and you knew, and everybody knew that the 2020 batches were horrendous. Sometimes you just have to either take the plunge and buy it or take the advice from the people online. And I think for all of you, the best advice I can give you, just go to the store. Go to the store. Wear them at the store. Match the batch codes, and you should be okay. For all of you watching, you guys are freaking amazing. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And let me make sure to say this one more time. The fragrance community is clueless. They don't know what the heck they're talking about. The Parfum de Marley, Layton, 2024, 2023, and 2025 are a 10 out of 10. This is so perfectly balanced that I can officially say I officially finally have again in my arsenal. I have Parfum de Marley Layton in my arsenal again. I got rid of the last one. And this one is going to stay with me literally forever. Amazing. And for all of you watching, yes, this is a 200 ml. This is the big boy. Look at this. Let me put that away. Boom, let me put that away. And if you have the chance to buy this one. This is very good. You don't need the big boy. You don't need the big bottle. You know I like to buy big bottles. You don't need the big one. Buy the small one. 3 sprays is sufficient. If anybody tells you to spray 12 sprays of this, most likely that's why they don't have a wife. That's why they don't have a girlfriend. And most likely they are very in, you know where. Point of the matter is, this is a great one too. These are great bottles, and for all of you watching, these are amazing bottles. For all of you watching, we're going to stream later on. Don't forget, we're going to stream later on today. For all of you watching, yes, we're going to stream later on today. Let's put these on here. Don't forget to tune in later on today when I show each and every one of you how to cook up a whole chicken. Not only that, I'm also going to be showing you how to drink a cocktail called Whiskey Sour. I'll be later on today. For all of you watching, don't overspray your fragrances. A Parfum de Marley Layton 2024 batch, 2025 is outstanding. I love this. I'll see you all soon on the next one. And for all of you, let's give a shout out. Yes, let's give a shout out to my chat room. Edgar Romeo, Andrew. I see Andrew. Shout out to Joe Waters. Shout out to everybody in here in the chat room. Sheeta, for some of the ladies that are working. Shout out to all of you. And Reaper Crew, you know what time it is. We're number one. For all of you watching, huge shout outs to the USA, U.S. Marines, U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, U.S. Air Force, and the U.S. Space Force battling the aliens over there on the moon. Shout outs to Zaharoff.com, George Zaharoff. Huge shout outs to George Zaharoff because the man is doing great things with his fragrance line. Huge shout outs to Zaharoff. And for all of you watching, I'll see you all soon in 2 more hours. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Tap the like, tap the screen, comment down below, subscribe. And for all of you watching, there you go, fragrance community. Maybe some of you need a little knock in the, you know where, a little cup check for all of you. A little cup check for all of you. Shout out to everybody. and don't trust the fragrance community. I'll see you all soon on the next one. Arepa, officially signing out. I'll see you soon.